Welcome everybody, this is Evelyn. I have a great Metatron read for you again today, and I also have the Twin Flame spread on the table. We're going to get right into it because it is a good, very in-depth read for the Metatron read. And today is the 15th, it's the Ides of March today, the assassination of Julius Caesar. It didn't come up too much, that kind of energy today, because it's been coming up all week. Just a touch on Caesar does come up in the read, but in a positive way. So let's see, it's really beautiful and sunny here today. I got my taxes dropped off, so it's a really good feeling today. For the Twin Flames, on the Ides of March, 3/15/2022, we have the number 10 of that high vibe destiny. It's also the month of October and Libra going into Scorpio. We have Capricorn here as well, about the father, responsibility, restrictions, and Jupiter here as well for expansion, and it always looks like the number 4, so there's that expansion of the home as well, perhaps. So we have Capricorn and Jupiter, Capricorn and Jupiter, so the Saturn and Jupiter kind of conjunct energies, as well as the 10 of a turn for the better in destiny, and that Libra of justice, and a little bit of Scorpio energy, not feeling that so much. 10 is more Libra for me. And yeah, let's go with that, see what happens. And of course, Jupiter Sagittarius of expansion with the Capricorn of restriction, and then Libra of balance, which is a very balanced energy. And that's really the energy that was coming up today. So that's why it came out such a lovely reading. Let's just take a quick deep breath. You can take a few more after this one if you'd like. Let's go send some love out to the world, wherever you'd like it to go. Take a deep breath in. Go ahead and take another deep breath in as I'm talking. All right, so today is the 15th of March. It's the 15 of the shadow, the devil card, and the day adds up to 24, which is the Queen of Wands. So yesterday we had the King of Wands along with the angel. So it's the angelic masculine and the shadow side of the feminine here coming up. And what else came up this morning? You might want to watch Sam the Illusionist video from today. It was really good. It talked about twin flames and actually the Ark of the Covenant related to Kiev. So you might want to check that out. I don't want to disclose too much. So go ahead and watch his video if you'd like. Also, when I was meditating last night before I went to sleep, I just kept getting the petals of the chakra system, and how the third eye usually is listed as 48 and 48 on each petal, and I'm not getting that. I'm getting that, like when your arms are up in the air, the degrees from your arms up in the air to your leg is that 144 degrees, and then the other side, on either side of the head, is 36 and 36, not 48 and 48. And the 36 would be a 369, is that 369 energy on both sides, which then is a 30 and 36, 36, which is the 72 of the 72 by 2. And then the 9 plus 9 is the 18, which is the purple moon on the other side of the 144, right? That 44 of the 3D lap dance going into the 8 of the upright do-si-do, or tango perhaps. So that was something that was coming up. And also, I don't know, for some reason Jesus' birthday was coming up, which, no one's ever going to figure out exactly because all the calendars are different. But I keep getting January 7th, and the year was coming up 6, and they were even reflecting from 6 AD to go back to the 6 before death. And so I was getting 176, which could even represent the first month of the year. If it does start from March 21st, then it would be March 28th. And both dates ended up being very significant because 176 before birth comes out to 14, which is that higher love of the Temperance card. And then 328 of the year 6 would be 37, which is unconditional love. So they both ended up being really positive numbers. But anyway, just something that was coming up for me. All right, so here we go into the Metatron read. And this is the, oh, there's the read for today's Metatron read. This is the underlying energies. The bottom of the deck is here. I start here and go across like this. And then these 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, and then these 4 down. And this is like an addendum if more cards need to come out, according to what I'm guided to do. So yeah, let's get going with that. It's a really good one. Okay, so at 10 o'clock, right on the dot, is when I started the Metatron read. I cut the deck and dealt it. The bottom of the deck was the gold card of the Ace of Cups, kind of like the Holy Grail energy of the Ace of Cups, except it's number 16, which is the Tower energy of sudden epiphanies and synchronicities and things like that. And the first card out was your authentic self, the 46 of the inner children loving each other. And the colors that came up, we had gold. Gold was really significant today. Lilac also came up with the gold. And as well red and yellow. So, of course, red is the root chakra, yellow is the solar plexus, and the sacral's not showing up there, but it does come up in the read today, even though it's not in the cards. So again, really tapping into that lower chakra system and getting in, like fine-tuning the wound clearing down there for the last bits that really need to get out. And then the gold of the lilac, which is very compassionate Christ consciousness type energy. We also have the elements, 3 of the elements, air, water, and fire. I don't think the earth card came out, did it? I don't think so. Yeah, no. So just air, water, and fire. So we had 3 of the elements. And really high vibrational energies and the very low dense energies. So density comes up a lot today as well, of the root chakra, and then the solar plexus, which is all about shining your light and confidence. But that's also the place where we store all our nervousness, where it's kind of like that quantum entanglement of karma comes up in our solar plexus, right? Where we get nervous and butterflies, all the stuff that shows us what we're feeling. So as I started the deck, and it came up as 29 cards today, which is the 3 of Wands, being present in the moment to your gifts. And I started at 10:08, which is interesting. I'm just thinking of this now, that for some reason October 8th always came up as a significant date for me, and I never knew why. But 10:08 is when I started this read. The underlying energy is the chaos of receiving the love light, which life is chaos, as we're birthed into this world in a very chaotic way. The chaos of receiving the love light, or life, transforming the dark to light, with your shadow pack, like your backpack for storage later, conquering your fears of dreams and healing, one step at a time, with infinite gold, the sudden love light, epiphanies, sending your energy back up to source, like a gift in return for giving us these downloads from the sun right now. So receive your downloads, which is coming up as the ether. Ether is the frill, or that love energy, and then return the density. So what I was talking about the past couple days is to breathe in ether and out density, back up to source. The energetic process between you and source is coming up here, is that EE of energetic exchange, and the process between. So then the first card came out, and this was at 10:18, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 18 of that purple moon, of the 0 point, right, where the dark meets the light of the white of the moon, is the purple moon. Who are you? And then the RU comes up around Russia, and the inner child. What is your key was coming up as Kiev came up, K-I and then Ev, which is my nickname, so of course it stood out to me, and the K-I of the key. And key can be spelled many ways depending on the language, right? Because we have K-E, K-I, K-Y, and then all sorts of. So I was guided to go through all of those definitions. And then again, Kiev, which means a stick, club, or of course the capital of UK. And Kiev, the way they spell it with the K-Y-I-V, is stone or brick. It's also hash or weed, it comes up as. Curious, brick, jewel, cue ball, kiwi, both the animal and the fruit, and the mill came up for Kiev. So, and the helicopter came over at 10:29, which is that wheel and the 29 again of being present in the moment, especially to your gifts. As I went through all the definitions of KE, KI, KY, of the keys, it was very interesting because some of them came up, like KI came up with my PIN definition, the PIN, but also right next to it, KI means key, KEY, the number 2, and then right after that was U, so 2 U's, and then PIN. This is the order it came out. PIN, so my PIN diagram of how we collect energy. And also the moon came up in that definition as well. And then in the KY definition, the monk key came up, as well as the Kwei, which also came up with cows, and KIE came up as the same definitions as KY with the cow and the Kwei. And the Kwei is like a transfer dock, of stone or cement that you'd pull something up onto the land. It can be referenced as a enclosure, pen, hedge was coming up here as well. A turn back, something to turn, revolve, swivel, which can reference the shifting as well. A stone or concrete structure used for loading and unloading vessels, or a wharf. So then, of course, with Kiev, not only did I look up the KI, but the EV of Ev, which of course is my name, and of course it's electric vehicle, and it's also exavolt, which is electromagnetic force, or 10 to the 18th degree of volts. And then the lowercase e with the capital V is electron volt. But the word EV came up as the dwelling place house or royal house, the dynasty, the period, century, fire, home, and also the inner board, like the motherboard, was coming up for EV as well. And of course the different variations of EV, because there's an EV with an accent one way and then the accent the other way over the E, which is the year and water. And also EV with a dot after it literally is short for eventual in German, which means potential or potentiality, the possible. So that was very significant there. So I went through all these definitions, including QUE, QUI, CUI, QUY, QUI, QE, QI, and QYE. So all different ways of saying key. And QUI was also significant because it came up as more of a negative energy toward it. It had the pin in there as well, again, and the marijuana cigarette. But CUI also means to take or to have sex with. But also the word arse came up, which is a word I would never say. And that's what Robin Williams came up with me as saying yesterday, is that arse. So that arse and bum literally came up again. And what else came up? And in the QUY came up the turtle and the jack, or like the page in the deck. The QE came up as the fish, the ox, and the egg. So very human there. So it's getting this energy of the different vowels and what they expressed, or the C and the Q versus each other. And the I was coming up as more source-oriented, like the arc of light, the leap, whereas the E was coming up as more around human emotion and energy being constant, and the Y being more about the earth and Mother Earth and the animals, right? Where all roads lead home is the Y in the road. And I always talk about the O and the A, which didn't come up here for this word, but the O being that human embodiment of source, and the A being that human and connected to another. So of course, with the key, one of the words means the number 7, right? So QI means life force and number 7. So that was the most clear as far as what it meant. And the KI, I told you, came up as the pin, the key, the moon, and the T as well, which is, for me, TI is also source energy. And the dog came up there as well, which is the reflection of God. So Kiev then was coming up as the key, the source of the 2 U's and the pin. Again, the collection of energy through the pin. The chi, or that life force energy, and the purple moon, who praises and compresses in the royal home of potential. So Kiev is very significant here regarding the ark. So not only are we dealing with this ark below ground there, which is why the Russians came in, but then Sam was talking about the covenant from Moses. So another reason, I don't think it was talking about the same one because it sounds like something that would be, you know, a size that you could handle as opposed to a huge ark that obviously you can't handle because it's very big. So there's now two energies coming up regarding Kiev, right? So Kiev may be where this covenant ark, it used to be in Ethiopia from what he said, but now it's in Kiev, whereas they went into UK in another city for the bigger ark, but it may also be Kiev as well because of that. So that very interesting. Like I said, watch his video. So my key coming up here is the purple moon, the two U's, the pin of PIN, the source, the praising and compressing all at the same time, the royal home and the potentials, the collective awakening to expand in abundance, to create, enjoy the spring of the mother, the earth, the Terra and Gaia. I was getting the ETG of Earth, Terra, Gaia as the ET of the 3 and 4D and the connection with extra dimensionals, and then the God, of course, which is the ultimate source energy. The extra of the 3D and energy, the terrestrial of the 4D, and the God or source energy of the 5D jump-off point. And yeah. So then we have the children of the Empress and the Knight of Swords messenger of truth from the family tree and codependencies. The key to freedom, as we're talking about all these keys, leaving karmic entanglement for quantum entanglement. So perhaps leaving the K to go to the Q. And that was just interesting too, because then my daughter went to Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is one of the corners of the triangle, of the Bermuda Triangle. As a bird just flew right in front of my window up. That was really weird. And I had always noticed, I've been to all three corners of the Bermuda Triangle, which is Bermuda, of course, and then Puerto Rico, and then around Miami and the Keys, right there is the third corner. And that's where the U.S. arc is under the water in the Bermuda Triangle. So it's very significant that I realized, oh, now she's completed the triangle too, because she's now been to all three places. So the dolphins were coming up, and that was at 1136, the 11 of alignment and justice, the 36 of the Atlas and the way to the world. Remember, the Atlas is also the roadmap to the world. And then the dolphins were coming up in the cards regarding the Bermuda Triangle and being in the islands, of course, because we always want to play with the dolphins when we go to the islands or to go to Florida. And the dolphin was coming up as on the card with the water and the icosahedron, which is 20 triangles, or again, the Bermuda Triangle to try more angles. So do connect of the dolphin. Do connect, which is the L, is a connection between dot to dot. It's an arc. So do connector arc in the PHI of expansion and contraction, and then the INS of the person or individual with water, and icosahedron, which is I matter, and the IV, the continuous honoring of self. Source support of the number 2, the divine feminine dance of duality. In the diamond light, which again, diamond is 2 almonds. The diamond light cutting through water reflects crystal rainbows. The chariot, the vehicle of ascension, the feminine within the masculine in the chariot of ascension. The water, you are the water. You're the vehicle of ascension. How essential the water and love light is. The family circles of life and self-satisfaction as the dragon looks on from Atlantean timelines of the fire strength and exposure to the sun in the desert. The pyramid of fire and trying to come to the middle somehow, trying to stay centered amidst the fire, and the drama fed to the family tree from below where the fire dragons live under the earth. Within the earth, encouraging roots to grow and entangle. So go to the castle on a cloud in the purple moon with a message and a rocket with purple stream behind it to leave a trail for others to follow. That stream of magic of higher realms, all pointed upward as the masculine alchemist of the triangle and change, and the feminine alchemist of the circle and shape. Together shift as they come together, just shows you the triangle connections literally arcing from point to point. Okay, and that becomes the circle. So again, the masculine in alchemy is the triangle, the feminine is the zero or the circle for shape. And together, when the triangle is put together with the circle, it literally draws the jumps from each point to point, the arc and the jump and the shift. And at 1150, which is justice and alignment, and the 50 of emotional fulfillment and happiness of the family, the emotional fulfillment, and at the end of the day, compassionate reflection in the sunset, going into the high heart of the aqua rose gold. Remember, it's the fourth finger to the fourth chakra, or that 44 train, plus the 1 of dot-to-dot connection to arc forward, a quantum leap, which is the rose line. The line is an arc. There is no straight line. The rose line is the rose arc. The roslyn, or little rose. The rose in a flash of lightning. Arc, or light. The rising through synchronicities and epiphanies of ascension. A sense connection. So here you have, everything is a reference to something. It's not meant to be literal. Oh, the bird. What is that bird? It's huge. I never had that big a bird like hanging out in my tree in my front yard. And this was a huge bird who just flew twice to spread his wings right in front of my window. I don't know if you could see it or not. I'll clear the window a little bit. Maybe you can see him next time he does it. See if you can see over there. Okay. So again, this is a reference to the rose line and the roslyn energies of the royal line of the Jesus and Mary Magdalene energies. So the rose line is literally the arc of the rising, the ascension. The connection to the ascension is the rose line, what we're in now. The roslyn, which Lynn is little, like little rose. And I was just getting ye has little faith. But rose in a flash of light, right? So sudden ascension, an arc of light, an epiphany, rising through synchronicities and epiphany, or in other words, ascension, a sense connection, which is the rose line at 1154, which is justice of alignment, and the 54 of the Page of Swords and the message. And then Atlas, hear and know your inner child. Remember that IC for inner child is also informed consent. Don't give your consent away easily. Make sure it's something that you resonate with first. We so easily just, sign here and say, okay. Make sure you're giving your consent only to those things that you resonate with. So Atlas, make a map. Hear and know your inner child who lives in a castle, I was just going to say by the sea with Puff the Magic Dragon. The inner child who lives in a castle on a cloud 9, the 5 plus 4 of the 54 9 is 5 of freedom and the 4 of stability all in one. A message. The Page of Swords child of the light or truth. Learning compassion through endings each day to not only express truth, but love light. The ether of the AE ash, which is bright light, and the thir, the frill, and come what may. The May flower, or the May, and when I wrote May, it looks like I went to write Mary, but the Y is missing one part. So it's coming up instead of May, it was coming up as March to May, and the Mayflower, which the March to May with April showers is coming up as the flower, the flower, the one who flows, and the showers as the shower, the one who shows. And remember, the showman came up yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. So you have the flowers and showers. And remember, the showman is the horseshoe of Mr. Ed. A 2 horseshoes in Hydra's pinwheel, where each is a foot of God, a footprint. The divine masculine and the divine feminine steps. The feet in the sand that you always reference as Jesus is actually you. Where Mist and Spirit's totally connecting with me right now. Where Mr. Ed got the back end for you guys, the arse, as Robin says, that you are the foothold, the footmen and women, expanding and contracting, and shy in expression. Whereas the Schumann bursts into poetry and song about you, that's God and Mr. Ed, and through you. Fly free, my birds, of diamond light, in transition as you rise. Take time to receive healing hands and rainbow light or white arc. Come together in the purple moon, the full moon in Virgo, to receive the details and then release with time out needed after 2 on the 22nd. Go within for clarity on that shadow that comes up, showering in diamond white light. After a warm rainbow healing hands and the shaman of truth and Excalibur. The safety in numbers as opposed to a big group. It was talking about safety in symbols, the numbers as symbols, and security in bumbles. And again, the bum came up with the arse of Robin. That was Robin Williams again. So safety in numbers as symbols and security in bumbles. And I always, of course, think of Bumble and the abominable snow monster in Rudolph. But here is coming up bumbles, perhaps the abominable snow monster. I can't say that word at all. But also is coming up the bum and the arse, like Robin Williams. And the ba-bum of the heartbeat of that talking head over heart. The shaman needs to go to the library and wisely reflect. Remember I talked about in the A-E-I-O-U order, the shaman, the sheman, the shy man, the showman, and the Schumann resonance, right? The shaman is at the bottom here, right? The old way of being a human in a very pure way, right? The shaman needs to go to the library and wisely reflect their records, as the she-man reflects with compassion, as above so below, with love and respect for them. The showman, Knight of Wands, with a love for life, inspires as a living inspiration of energy stores, paying forward and back to ancestors, showing appreciation in return in that energetic exchange, that EE train, of where an E is 1 and 3 lines down, or 3 lines across rather, which means one that's equal and congruent to the other that's equal and congruent to the first. Thanking you for reflecting and going within, by the lake at night or in the shower at dawn. It's a new dawn of phased array, which is electronic steering that's built in between the rays, with phase-dependent superposition of 2 or more radiated signals. And that was coming up from resources system-analysis.cadence.com. So the phased array is electronic steering that's basically built in between the rays, a phase-dependent superposition, and that specific definition came up for another thing recently regarding 2 or more, right, the twins, that are radiated signals. When signals are in phase, they combine together to form a signal of additive amplitude, which is that same energy of being more together than you would be apart. The counter phase would cancel each other out. There are 3 types of phased array antenna here. One is linear, one's planar, and one's frequency scanning array, where the sum is always of the group is always more than the total of its parts. So then it was 1221, and there's that reflection of the 1-2 and the 2-1, the 12 of the hanging man and the 21 of the world. And the void card comes up with the Om, the A-U-M, and then space as the 4th note. The sun rays, welcoming you back to that high vibration of that 1-0 trill of the human embodiment of source, and that 1, which is that arc of connection, the bridge, going from the 1-0 to the 1-1, which is that high vibe H of the 8 in 5D, and then back to the 0 to 1 switching roles as the human and the connection to source, and then back to 1-1 again. The source embodiment via direct connect, but yet staying connected. And once you get past the 1-0 1 to 1, 0, 1, you then get to the 1 to 2 and 2 to 1, which is that 1221 reference, which then parallels with my QE2 drawing with the two E's, my QE2 drawing with the two E's on either side, the 0 with the Q, and then the number 2 is there as well. This references this 1221, as once you get past the beginning stages of that energy and the rising of the energy, and you're able to stabilize that energy, just like we're going to talk about in a second, making a stent in a person or making a hole through the fabric of the universe, right? A new hole or a new quantum leap. Once it has to be in there for a while for support before you can take the support out where it can then function on its own. So here's that same energy. Once you can get past the 0101 to the 11 and then the 12, where then you can be in relationship with the masculine and the feminine and the masculine, which is that QE2 of two who are equal and congruent to each other in that quantum leap. With source or ether, frill, at the source, which is the middle. So that 0 in the middle of that drawing I just showed you is the source, always in the middle, where all roads lead home, in the middle of the circle. Creating the stent bypass, like in a person, with a support bridge until it sticks, just like the mentor, until the mentor is no longer needed. The bird who flies from the nest. The phased array is the sun and the union, and then the sun and onion with the O instead of U's. The sun in the sky and the union, and then the sun as in the child and the onion. Peeling back the layers until he cries, with the arc and the diamond above his head in that symbol for Om of the 3 and the 0, and the arc of light with the diamond above it, where the 3 is literally the top of the heart on its side, but without the less than symbol, right? Taking out your lack of worthiness. And the little divot in the heart, it comes because of the longitudinal collapse of the heart, of going within without being less than. The implosion to create direction, as in the space between the phased arrays, like nanosurgery in the eclipse of the heart, the ear, the here, the art, which is also the earth, right? So the heart, that word is ear, here, art, and the earth. The eclipse of the earth, of Terra, which is coming up as really T-H-E-R, Terra, which is the same exact letters as the earth, just rearranged, and the L, which means elder, senior, or wise monk. Also that one, the belt, the T, the silk gauze, or that silky, really fine grid. The strong, fragrant smell, as the carpenter bee comes out from the honeycomb, which looks like a phased array, with the shower or the shower to give their offering to the buttercup flower or flower, and magically making them happy in pollinating. The twin flames push and pull of the arc to untie the karmic knots, to untangle in order to leap to quantum entanglement, meeting with outsiders instead, and galactic realms. Letting go from winter to fall, it's time to release and have some fun and journey on. As we go from orange to gold, where orange is or angel, vexed, moth, to flame, with a sweet smell of anxiety to indicate to turn inward, or on the scent of a woman as we go to gold. At 1237, which is the hangman and unconditional love, or the King of Cups, or the collapse of the heart turning in on itself, why there's a divot on top, and the aura of the angel to gold. Go lead, or go binary logarithm. And logarithm is logos, rhythm, to the base of 2, where that logo or logos, right, like the golden mean logo, and if you add logos with rhythm to the base of 2, what do you think you get? You get the bass key, the F clef. Here is the logos of the golden mean, right, with rhythm, because it has to do with music, to the base of 2 with the 2 dots. That is the logos rhythm to the base of 2, the F clef or the bass beat. The expanding and contracting of the F, or just reflecting in the middle key, right? Because the F clef and the G clef separate, what you read in the music, one's on top, one's on the bottom. So the expanding or contracting are just reflecting and staying in the middle key. So key we're looking for here is the group of sound resonances as opposed to a key to a door, right? What key are we in? Looking for a group of sound resonances, A through G, the sharps or flats, and octaves upward. For high pitch, faster vibration, pitching to God what to create next, frequently, at 149, which is the magician and the 49 of the 9 of cups, of getting your wish. Faster, 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 yet slower, slower, slower. Higher, 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 yet lower, lower, lower. The quickening and yet relaxing, the rise and yet fall, the tightrope, jump rope, the double Dutch. Now you got it. Dutch means a wife or alkaline cocoa. And if you jump into double Dutch, you must also jump out, but without falling or tripping up. It's all in the timing, out of time and space for direction, and time for the pace of continuum, the ivy flower or flower, and show her, and tell her, and show her, and tell her. And anyone who can remember what movie that was, I can see them plain as day. The 50s girls in pink with bouffant hair. And it's just like a reprieve in the movie where they go to them singing, and show her, and tell her, and love him, and hug him. And what is that song, and what is the movie it's from? I cannot think of it for anything. So if any of you know what I'm talking about, please let me know. It was driving me crazy. So it's all in the timing, out of time and space, where space is for direction and time for the pace of the continuum, the ivy flower or flower, the shower or show her and tell her and flow her, present her and perform her, and keep it going, showman, for the shoeman to resonate with you at 215, which is the high priestess and the devil or the shadow side. And with Kiev is coming up as the key of Ev, which they're so funny when they do stuff like that. So at the underlying energy, the 2 and the 15 is the high priestess and the shadow or the devil. Put your arms out and up. Receive the sun in your shadow pack on your back, one step at a time down the slope or angle, that every degree is slightly different based on your specific footprint, expansion of wings, and your resonance with the holy grail of your heart, the holy of the hole at the Y in the road or 0 point, where you catch the grail or the G-rail train to the 0 point field, the phased array to Shea array, which is Cesare, the home of the ray, Cesare's place, Julius Caesar or Julius Cesare, aka Caesar, and Julius, July, in the US of A, home of the ray, the golden, red, white, and blue rays, in energetic exchange between the sun and dense return, with new ones who are coming in lighter and lighter, leaving the dark to the ethers, the sharp-cutting bright lights of the stars, the chaos of the stars and sudden events. And then the key of the D for dolphin, and the dolphin of doll, expanding and contracting, as Jesus in water, for emotional well-being in the purple moon, or kids taking a ride to Disneyland or Disney World, to get to know your inner child with the weight of the world on their shoulders. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Hearing the call and living karma free, as Atlas of Destiny for twins is in alignment, the collective awakening and welcoming to family groups, and coming full circle and circles. Sunrise, sunset, swiftly go the years. Soar high, eagles. One, equal and congruent to each other, the gulls. The gulls are a seabird or a Ide butterfly of Sephora, to mislead or be misled, to take from lead to gold. And gull means gold, the gold medal, the money, the livestock, or the live stock. A cherished thing, a jewel, a baby, darling, or somebody cute. At 238, the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups. So Sephora and pora also means drill, reading, lesson, pair, time, and interval. The pore, to rab, as in a pore in your skin. To rob, snatch, steal, to squeeze or milk, an acquaintance, swamp, dung or dirt, chicken, fowl, cock, island, semi-domesticated, reindeer, big, large, and husband all came up for the definitions of these two words, of gull and then pora and Sephora as the type of butterflies that came up. So you are the eagles, the e-gulls, the ones that are equal and congruent to gulls. And gulls are misled, or in other words, taking the lead out, misled seabirds or butterflies to go gold instead from the lead. With livestock, jewels, or someone who's really cute. This is the lesson or drill to squeeze the acquaintance, chicken, cock, big large husband, or domesticated reindeer one, the reading of the pair, not the will. It is time. The 30 with the ark and the diamond on top, the symbol of the Om, the home, the ark, and the diamond on top, the AUM with space in the purple moon, where you can visit but you can never leave, the hotel, city of angels, the heart of the human that's elongated and directed inward and then crowned, and are to hold the diamond, or bridge of the nose, to hold two eyes plus a third, as source supports that third with the arc of the diamond-like glory, God's story of winter to fall at 255, which is the High Priestess and the truth of Excalibur, from winter to fall, where ter means two, so the wind to fall, where ter also means river, bull, one dry off, or eye dry off, devastated, ruined, disabled, the letter B designating a third house on the block with the same number or symbol, to own, to have, to hold, to possess, tar, addendum, thrice, good tear, to give birth to, interact with, sweat, forest, uncle, aunt, and consider. So what it came out to in this wind to fall is between the wind and the fall is the river that flows, but also the bull, the third house, person or time, to have and to hold, to own and possess, as I dry off, devastated, ruined, disabled, tarred and feathered, in the forest, with good tears, in more than we would have been alone, to give birth to, consider, sweat, and interact, with aunt and uncle perhaps, from the wind to the fall, from awakening of the family to ending it all, and finding Om, or home, AUM with space at 0 point field, falling light as a feather, as the Mother Empress space transitions and Father Emperor time lets go. The tree that split into this and that, the young'uns falling farther and farther from the roots of the tree, with fire dragons below the earth, and the aqua rose gold heart of love, compassionate love for all who came against you, and pausing to receive healing, to flower another day, with the busy bee come what may, on the journey from the sacral orange, or angel, like moth to flame, led to gold, the consciousness of Christ on the scent of a woman. Hoorah! At 3:14 Pi Day, the time was, as Ra, who's Ra, Ra is Ray, and thus is the home of array, Che array, after phased array. Thank God that phase is over, and in the right angle at the left direction at 3:15. So now we had 3:14 and 15, which was yesterday and today, of Pi Day into the Ides of March, and the angel and the devil. So how do you like that? And also, Animal House was coming up today, and that's that, you know, epitome of the angel and the devil on either shoulder. So that was coming up as well. All right, so let's go into the twin flame read here. Is this the right one? I think I'm looking at the wrong page, yeah. Okay. So here's the full read, the 7-deck read. And by the way, we have the Destiny card, the Wheel of Fortune, in the middle of the deck, and it's upright. So for those of you not familiar with my read, the 7 decks are the mini Rider-Waite here. This is the Romance Angels, the Tarot of Sexual Magic. We have the Numerology deck back there. Here we have the Universal Golden Tarot, the Gilded Tarot, and then the main deck is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck. And we pull Oracle cards at the end as well. So for this read, I cut the deck at 2:22 yesterday. For today, 3:15. And again, today's energy is the devil with the Queen of Wands, whereas yesterday was the King of Wands with the angel. So very significant, right? Bringing out the more angelic side of the masculine, the more devilish side of the feminine, or the masculine going more into his feminine side and the feminine going more into their masculine side. That could be as well. So the 222 of that room 222 energy of guidance, right? The 2 is all about the mediator, seeing both sides of the situation, the divine feminine energy. The 22 of the Fool's journey of taking that leap of faith. The 22 is a 4. It's all about structure and the home, but knowing that the heart is the home, going into the 222 of the 6, which is of love and family and community. So we have at 2:33, F orbs came up, which can reference Forbes, but also the F of expanding and contracting, the orbs, which is thoughts and words, but also blind men and orphans. And that was at, we started at 2:22, that was at 2:33. And then at 2:44, another thing came up, which was when I dealt out the King of Cups and the Hierophant, they were telling me I was dealing out Robin Williams and Stephen King, who came up yesterday. Also, ETION came up and rants with the numerology card, so we'll get into that in a minute. But just so you know, Stephen Hawking was born January 8th, which is actually the day I got married, the first time I got married, because I've been married twice. But that's also Elvis's birthday, and I was born in the hospital where Elvis died. So anyway, there's that reference there, and then he died yesterday on 3/14 in 2018, and that was Stephen Hawking. But he's a Capricorn. And then Robin Williams is July 21st, 51, so he's a Cancer. He's coming up as the King of Cups, and Stephen Hawking coming up as the Hierophant here. So then that was at 2:44. So then I finished clarifying at 2:49, which is the 2 of the High Priestess, and the 49 of the 9 of Cups, the Get Your Wish card, being self-satisfied and happy within self. And the major arcana here were the Wheel, the Great Wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune. And then the Karma card, which is Judgment, and the Star. And before the read, the Lovers came up, which is also upright, by the way. The Lovers and the 2 of Cups were both upright in this read. So we have 3 swords, 2 wands, 2 cups, and 1 pentacle, which is 32 of the journey, 21 of the world, and mostly swords and wands and cups here. So either intellectualizing with swords or going too much into your head and over-ruminating things, which can be stress as well and any kind of mental suffering. And then the only court card that came up in the read was the Knight of Swords, the Messenger of Truth, or the Knight in Shining Armor, and the 9 of Pentacles, which is the Sovereign energy. Before the read, 2 pages came up, the Page of Pentacles and Swords, and after the read, the Queen of Pentacles came up. So we have a Knight of Swords and Page of Swords. The Page of Swords was before the read. And then we have 3 Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and Queen of Pentacles, which obviously can be a family. They could be all siblings or a mother and children, or even a mother and father and children. So in this read, we had 4 5s come up, you guys, and 3 6s. So very significant here. Tons of change with the 4 5s complete. That is the 20 of Judgment going into the world of completion. And the 3 6s of the Purple Moon in 18, which is also I mean, you can see that in its negative aspect, but that is a distortion of the 6, 6, and the 6, because DNA of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they're all 6s of 6, 15, 24, and 33. So it's just your perspective on how you see things, right? So there's a lot of things distorted by the dark on purpose. So the triple sixes here, which is all about love, family, community. It's the 6 of the Lovers, the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, and the triple sixes going into that purple moon of the 0 point energy. And then the 77 of the Sovereign, our sovereignty in that change. And remember, change is easier when it's in 4 5s as opposed to 3 or 1 5, right? Because change deals with a lot of expansion and pain for most people when there's a lot of change going on. But when we have 2 5s together, it becomes the 1 and a new start. And when we have 4 5s, it's about the wake-up call to go into that ending of the world and then that new start, that a really big new beginning. So again, big change with love, family, and community, and the 0 point field and your sovereignty. We also had double 1s, which is justice, truth, and balance. And also the 9 came up as significant, which is the collective, the compassion, the hermit, the one and the all. We have also here the 1 and 5, which is the devil, the 56 of the 2 of swords, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the humble loyal servant, the 79 of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and the 9, 10 begin again and again and again. Every time you expand out, you then come back to the heart in the present moment. And the now moment. So we have this code line here was all about karmic completion and perseverance. And the numbers that came up were 6, 6 adding to 12, which is the hanging man, and the 2 lovers. And notice here, this has never happened before. So we have the underlying energy here on top is the Ace of Swords with the mini cards on top of that. But we have the lovers on the bottom of this deck, the lovers on the bottom of this deck, the lovers on the bottom of this deck. But this deck has 2 lovers, so that's like the, you know, that tainted energy. So 3 decks all along the bottom with the truth of the Ace of Swords upright. And by the way, all 4 aces in this read were also upright. All 3 lovers across. So regarding karmic completion and perseverance, and the number 12 of the hanging man of seeing the perspectives and being wise in the awakening. And the lovers, and the lovers, not only were they there in the bottom, but they came up a lot in the read as well in the code line. Regarding seeing a bridge made by the lovers in alternating currents or air conditioning the one and too much in their head, of the lovers, of the 6 of love, family, and community, or the Sophia 9, which is the collective divine feminines. After death, the 6 of wands, right, the journeyman who comes in with the good news after the war, the end of the war, with attention, news, or reputation, the vital essence of the now moment, right, getting you really excited about that feeling of right now. And then the definition of the now moment came up here. And the energy of the VE, where we had ebbed before earlier today, we now have VE coming up in the code line, which references that holy place of offering of birth and the pain of contractions and the longing of birth, the widow, the birthing, the misery, and the woe. But again, that holy place of being in that 4D purgatory energy. Also, to flirt was coming up as part of that. The cicada and the tick and the small bottle, the we and the wood. And also this SEVE, which is the sap, or again, the vital essence of life, which came up in that key energy earlier. We also had the AC and the AD coming up, perhaps AC-DC energy coming up here. But also the alternating currents of before death and after death as well, of the timelines of Jesus. And the C is the lovers of the, and this is very like poetry oriented, that the sea is the lovers, the oaken ship to ship, the mountain to the mountain, right? That the lovers are the sea in between all of these things, the hungriness before the meals, and after the death of a lover, the 6 of wands messenger of the ending of the war, the harbinger of good things to come, the sap, the essence of life, the holy place of offering, the widowed, the longing and birthing and contracting, the flirting with danger in the now moment. And then the way karmic completion and perseverance came up, it read Mick, Etion, and Rance. So M-I-C like a Mike, E-T-I-O-N, and then Rance as in R-A-N-C-E. So the way that came up was the amplification of the small child, the boy, the son, to be the creature who's imperfect, the prop between your legs. And if you can imagine, a little kid who's always holding onto your legs, or shiny marble of red, whites, and blues, from which things branch out, project, and grow from, right? So that purgatory place. To see the bookends of CA and AC, or parentheses with two A's, the lover's core in the middle, the whispering benches of the parentheses on either side, and the rockets and teepees of the A's on the inner side next to each other, the ETs and the humans side by side, the lovers in the golden mean of the 6 and the G, that golden mean coil, the story, the reputation, to give and throw and hold against, to compare, to compare fame and hell, and the first name and the last name, and advantage after death, the journey man brings in the news, of advertising the end of the war in order to get attention, success, and make people happy and lead the way, to self in a flash of lightning, Eve, of karmic completion and perseverance, that sudden event of AAC, which means Anno Christos, or Christa maybe. But anyway, Anno Antichrista, or whatever it is, means in the year before Christ. So again, that's why the year 6 was coming up in this header today for Jesus. But the sudden event, AAC, where perhaps Jesus was born in 6 before Christ. And also ACSI was coming up, which means to stay or remain. Also silence, stop, wait a minute, and hey. And ACSI is also the American Customer Satisfaction Index. And how satisfied are you with his performance? And then 306 came up too, which is referencing the 309 that's been coming up, as in the 369, but we don't need to say the 6 because we're in the 6, the 0 of the now moment. But here 306 was coming up, of being present in between 3 and 4, which is coming up right next to the word hell in the underworld. So then I was looking up a little bit at, online perspectives of when Jesus' birthday is, and of course there's different opinions about everything. So a lot of people say, but around March, April, May, and then, of course, we always hear growing up about Christmas, and then January 6th. But again, it's around the timelines of Augustus, right? So today is the Ides of March of Julius's assassination, and Julius's son, or adopted son, Augustus, was reigning when Jesus was here. And then, of course, Pilate and Herod, which came up. Herod was 4 BC to 39. Pilate was 25 after death to 36 after death. And then Tiberius was 14 AD to 37 AD. So anyway, they're just, if you want to meditate on his birth and see what we all come up with, that would be kind of cool to see what everybody gets. But 7 was coming up as the year of the consulship of Nero and Piso, which is that energy of Augustus, and his second census of the Roman Empire, which was 4,233,000 people. And that year of 7, which would have been the year before the birth, which was coming up in the code line as the year before Christ. So it's like coming up as what happened in the year before Christ, and how does that parallel with what comes as the second coming of Christ, right? Of all of the energies of the starseeds coming in and awakening the earth, and the twins coming together in union. Remember, all 4 aces were coming up today, and I just read to you, it said it is time in the Metatron read. And so the other way the code line is coming up as the other date that was coming up as kind of significant was, of course, 1 BC, right? Because we go from 1 BC to 180. There's no 0 in between. And January 7th of the year 1 would equal 9. But before Christ, too, if you subtracted a year, because it's actually before the year, it becomes the 8. So they're both very significant numbers. All the numbers that have come up from those 3 dates are significant. So again, from the code line, to see the needle, and remember the needle, the eye of the needle is the black hole, not just one hole. It's actually a 2-way push and pull twin flame hole, a double-eyed needle supporting the hole, right, pushing in both directions at the same time. And 6 AD after death was coming up here significantly as a timeline where alternating currents, which 6 AD would be 6 before Christ, and air conditioning of those of the mind, the fame of the journeyman, and the bookends were coming up here of 6 AD and 6 BC, and the life in the holy place of offering, the flash of light of Eve. And then the sea, or as the ocean, but also sea with the eyes of the lovers, and the oaken ship, or the ark. The ark is that, right, the ark of light. The 6 AD of the lovers after death, which AD is also advertising an advantage. The 6 of advantage, or advertising, or after death, and the 6 of wands of the journeyman, and the sieve of the VE, or the egg, the life birthing of the karmic completion and perseverance. The sea of the ocean, and the seeing with your eyes. And of course, the letter C of the whispering bench, and the Christ consciousness of the lovers, and alternating currents of the lovers, and after death of the lovers, of the flames, the vital essence of the now moment, not the past. So again, this was Jesus saying, don't worry about when I was born, it's no longer important or relevance to going forward, is it? So the Ace of Swords upright, and beneath that was the Page of Pentacles reversed, the Lovers upright, the Ace of Pentacles upright, and the Page of Swords reversed, and the 5 of Wands reversed. And then the Ace of Swords on top here. As the Page of Pentacles reversed, who could be a poor student or just a child struggling to get attention, unable to get the project off the ground, or in need of help, money, or opportunity, perhaps with lover offering a new life, to the Page of Swords reversed, in a losing battle with the truth presented, where the truth conquers all, and always is just below the surface. Walking away and within, away from overtime or malalignment, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, as a plane is coming by. The Knight of Pentacles reversed is not working at 432, which is the Emperor and the journey. They're not working and freed by their synchronicities and messages of love from the Page of Cups upright here, which can be puppy love as well, or just a water sign child. So we have 3 pages right off the bat, right? 2 of them are reversed with the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, which can be really immature energy, right? The one who expects everyone else to do things for them because they've learned to let everyone do things for them and not have to step up to the plate. And then the Page of Swords may have a mouth on them, or giving somebody the silent treatment, or they're really super negative, or, have a really potty mouth. It's the Page of Swords reverse is the most negative communication card in the deck, or most immature anyway. Oh, it's a big, I don't know if it's a crow or a raven. He looks really shiny, so it could be a raven and he's by himself. He's the one who keeps flying up in front of my window. I just saw another one fly. I don't know if it's big though. Geez, I'm not used to them being on my front tree. So we have these pages, and maybe the crows or the raven outside of the pages here. being childish. At 433, which is the Emperor and the 33 of the Christ vibration, that's standing up for oneself without getting triggered, and the two childish lovers with a big breakthrough, that stone-breaking plant. A big breakthrough to end the battle with the truth here. Leaving behind overtime or things that are just not working out. And the Page of Pentacles reversed, unable to function, stubborn, on strike, or obstinate and disabled, or just refusing to work, trying to block the Fool's freedom with options and messages of love, and the Page of Cups. They're so funny, the birds. The Fool is free to explore their choices or synchronicities, keeping them awake, or awakening and rising above the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, with the horny devil or codependent on announcements or wake-up call, or Capricorn or devil who's piping in music to the lovers or to inspire affections, or the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community with Capricorn and Aquarius lovers and the devil child, and where did he come from or she come from anyway, or two sets of lovers, one divine with calling and other chained by codependency or addiction, or the two sides of every couple being called home now at 444, the angelic realms. The angel and the devil in the Garden of Eden or Eve's Den, with Gemini, Aries, Capricorn, and Aquarius all upright right here, and one crow or raven staring us down. Perhaps the kids came out with the truth to or about the lovers or their affections, or three sets of lovers here, letting go to fix, repair, and make amends, or the divine masculine's heart cracking wide open with dreams of the Star of Bethlehem, and falling out with lover or two kids who fell into being lovers when the stars aligned just right at 449. Did you see them? I'm going to clarify this so you can see the bird a little bit. There they, oh, did you see them? There's just three of them that went by. And they're really shiny, so I don't know if they're crows. I guess we'll never know. If you know the difference, if you can tell by just the view you're seeing now, let me know if you can tell the difference. I certainly can't. So perhaps the kids came out about the truth or about lovers' affections, or three sets of lovers here letting go to fix, repair, and make amends, or the divine masculine's heart cracking wide open with dreams of the Star of Bethlehem, and falling out with a lover or two kids who fell into being lovers when the stars had aligned just right at 449, which is the Emperor and the Nine of Cups, are getting your wish. And this is not from the birds here, but literally I wrote this down. The birdie is flying the coop, leaving behind the kids or the partier perhaps for divine lover or partner. The birdie, so again, leaving behind kids or a partner for the divine lover. The birdie is having trouble leaving the nest, failure to launch due to falling out in the past with lover, or a bad childhood, or kids giving them a hard time, or being sad about lover, or Aquarius and Gemini upright under the gun, or the heat is on and she is leaking all over the place, or can't hold her bladder, or purging emotions and then popping right back in, or going to the salon with a leak, or then back to the water and the plants. And them showing up to be the perfect lover. So it's like someone going to the salon to fix themselves and then fixing a leak, or then back to the water and the plants and dealing with the housework, and then showing up to be the perfect lover. Or kids taking care of the house here so that the parent can go on vacation at 454, which is the Emperor and the Page of Swords. So worth waiting for, and beneath that deception, with new passion for twin flames, burning the past, and out on a date or lunch perhaps, with the High Priestess reversed without the keys or degree, and the Knight of Wands a first responder or rescuer or sweeping her off her feet, as the man with two lovers and a rose garden perhaps, the Dark Priestess withholding the keys to the spells cast as the Knight of Wands rescues them from themselves or from fires or as a fireman, or she burned down the house or lost a cat in a fire, but at least, hold on one sec. But at least the kids are safe and out with no clothes on perhaps at 502. I'm sorry if anyone had a fire. It'd be a really scary thing. Or secret passion of the Knight of Wands upright man with two lovers, or perhaps they're just two of great affection or their kids, receiving passion and then out to eat, when secret passion rushes in, lighting up the place, exposing the man with two lovers, or Gemini, or a split personality here, with Pisces reversed and Gemini and Aquarius upright here, with abundance, 88 of the twin flame dance, and beneath it the time out of the 37 of unconditional love and the King of Cups. And out the back Jack with a message of love or the Page of Cups showing up, leaving the house to dump a load, a burden, or responsibilities, and be free with third party through work, or free from issues at work, in a disconnect or at a distance, advertising or printing, or hit the presses, jumping through hoops and performing the fool to try to connect and be seen. The Page of Cups and the Fool, and the Seven of Swords guy, the innocent, the fool leaping, and the liar, cheater, thief out the back, unstable home and work, confessing wanting their freedom to leave a relationship, in disconnect or at a distance, presenting the truth to lover, other love and man with two lovers, and abundant 8-8 dance of the twins. So still in the underlying energies here of the King of Wands reversed, being very upset or sick or tired and dissatisfied, perhaps with a bad reputation or failure of the King of Cups reversed, regarding justice or a divorce, or Libra here. Or the King of Wands reversed is arrogant under the radar about the King of Cups reversed, and justice or Libra mediating there. Maybe they don't like the fact that they're mediating. And the Scrooge letting go, and inspired Page of Wands, along with the Knight of Swords to end the war with hostage or anxieties, with the Sovereign upright and the Wounded Warrior surrendering to receive big love from twin, co-creation, or the workplace, or school, or church, or wherever you co-create, or the Sovereign who's upright showing the Wounded Warrior reversed surrendering what they created for them, or the Page of Wands and the Knight of Swords are fixing up the place to help with post-war or virus, PTSD, anxieties, or paranoia, while the Sovereign and Wounded Warrior who's reversed receive big love from the twins' creation. In the recent past is the karma and the wake-up call, and the truth that's out about a disconnect, and the Page of Wands inspired to offer their time, money, and effort in a new life and self-satisfaction to home or union to help recover, with the Queen of Swords upright and the Knight of Swords upright together here, as the Knight of Swords is coming in as or on behalf of the Divine Feminine, or the Pisces upright with the King of Wands upright, or Page of Swords reversed kind of message, perhaps really negative or immature, to cut down the Queen of Wands and make them feel bad about the Two of Cups, causing them to feel weak or make them sick. Or the Page of Wands is trying to make a peace offering to arrogant or self-satisfied one at home to recover with them before the Queen of Swords sees the Knight of Swords coming, expecting a negative message. Or the Queen of Wands' child is the Page of Wands and is warning the Queen of Swords that the Page of Swords child is coming home and pissed or out of hand with them, so watch out. Or two moms whose babies or kids were switched, or neither mom is getting along with their child, so they decide to switch homes for a bit to see if that would work. And this could also just be one child staying with their friend because they're having problems at home, or both switched, but more likely that just one is staying with the other, whether it's a relative or a neighbor or a friend. But this is like the child coming home and someone calling the mom to warn them they're on their way because there could be a problem for them. At 536, which is the Hierophant and the 36 of the Atlas in the Way of the World, and the King of Wands may be on a trip with the Knight of Swords getting their message across, which can be Libra energy right there. And the foundation is the Six of Cups reversed in a falling out in the past, or with difficult kids or a bad childhood, and the truth being told of the inequity of the Queen of Pentacles reversed and running away and resisting change, or stealing their thunder, or looting the place after a sudden event, or stealing their ideas. And this could be kids stealing from you or a neighbor or something like that too. It could be a problem child. And the devil child's been coming up this week, so there could be someone who's a real problem. And this could be an adult acting like that as well. The central energy is the Great Wheel, the Destiny, Libra, and the World Complete, with the King of Wands upright in heated exchange, in connection, grounding, and integrating and mastering the Magician or a manifestation. Or while the King of Wands is away, the Queen of Swords is taking messages for them to block the Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Wands is getting the wrong idea, or the Queen of Wands didn't get or send a message right back and saddened that their connection with another has weakened theirs. The Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords are reversed are all right here, as well as the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, and Page of Wands are all in this area right here. So there definitely could be two families dealing with each other, whether they're all children of different ages or parents and children. Mostly looks like mothers and children, but we have the King of Wands and Queen of Wands as well. But the King of Wands is with the World here, which also could be the Divine Feminine or Pisces, destined to be together, and two of Cups pairing, offering their love, but the Magician may be ignoring them. Or maybe they feel like a manifestation that's there is eluding them as well. The block here is the Six of Wands reversed, destined to failure. And again, failure to launch came up yesterday and today. With no attention, bad reputation, or neediness of the world, Pisces or Divine Feminine, broken, broke down, or broke up. Or issues with a move or travel. Or Pisces upright and Cancer reversed. Or Pisces had Libra answer for them. Present to death, ending, dark night transition, or Scorpio upright. Or a breakdown on a trip, as Pisces upright, Cancer reversed, and Scorpio upright coming together to create with the King of Cups. Perhaps the weak Empress reversed may not be doing well, or perhaps it's the opposite and her ego is way out of control, with Leo reversed and Taurus reversed, and the Knight of Cups, who may be jealous or feeling rejected of the Queen of Wands upright, and the Dark Knight walking away from them. And the King of Swords Libra with weak or sick Leo, Queen of Wands, and the Empress reversed, very needy, and or a sneaky Taurus reversed, no longer to be silenced by kids or issues from the past, and surprising or shocking the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or being the Knight of Pentacles reversed, shocking themselves by being unfriendly with the Page of Cups, child, or message of love, offering time, money, and effort to the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords. The King of Wands may be a worldly man who's getting word to the Queen of Swords that both the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups, who are both upright, are offering their time, money, and effort, or perhaps a new life to the King of Wands and Queen of Swords, or perhaps children giving their parents a blessing to perhaps, it's a new parent, or perhaps parents getting remarried, or, like I said, a new parent and giving their blessing. Maybe they gave them a really hard time about it until this point. At 559, which is the Hierophant, and the Five of Swords, or they're gifting them with their presence, making the Queen of Wands jealous and the Empress reversed weak. And now is the Five of Cups upright, but it looks like 5G, so I don't know if someone's dealing with 5G issues. Grieving in the woods, the Two of Cups, Libra, after presented the truth of their suffering, recovering from exile, and that can be illness or injury as well, or destitution, and withholding from the Six of Cups reversed kids, or soul tie in disconnect or at a distance here. Hanging out with the Page of Swords reversed, which can be someone who's lying and spying and spreading rumors as well, or with nothing nice to say, or just a general negative perspective, whether that's a child or an adult. And if it's an adult, it could be a Pisces or Capricorn right there. With Pisces or Capricorn upright, or kids giving the King of Swords a hard time, home with the Page of Wands in a heated exchange, with the Page of Pentacles reversed being offered new passion, growth, or a project from the Ten of Cups family with too much work and going under, or demanding that the Page of Pentacles reversed and or the Page of Swords reversed both help with the family business or chores. And again, these pages can all be pets as well. Pets, children, messages. Maybe you have like so many messages that you can't ever catch up on, like we all do these days with the amount of email that comes in with spam and all that. But the Page of Wands is upright here, no longer conflicted about romance, and the Ten of Cups upright, family or emotional fulfillment or a happy ending here, and being defenseless to the energies at work or at play, which can be the sham fam as well, trying to pretend like everything's good for a good reputation, and the perhaps defenseless to the energies at work or at play, and Atlas or feeling ganged up on, while the Ten of Cups, happy family, perhaps sits in the lap of luxury while they do all the work. Grieving, loss, regret, guilt, and shame, announcing the injustice of a big love at work, or coming out to the Emperor reversed, who may be tempted and jealous, or Capricorn waving goodbye to Libra, Virgo, and Aries all reversed, after an announcement or wake-up call that they're not going to do it anymore. With the Ten of Cups family grieving a big love at work and rejection, or shocked or shocking the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or of quitting, and the Page of Cups offering love, or to offer love and a new life to the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Cups jealous or schmoozing or feeling rejected here at 6:15, which is the Lovers and the Devil. And again, the Lovers card and the Devil card are the same thing in light and dark. Or a big love of Libra reversed and Virgo reversed, and Aries rejected or jealous with Aquarius upright and Capricorn upright on either end of it. Or maybe they were involved with causing problems between them. And soon here is the Seven of Wands reversed, defenseless to the drama of the King of Cups upright and the Hierophant upright, which could be a Taurus, of being unconditionally loving at work and imprisoning or imprisoned by twin flame or offer or choice to make from third party wanting to end the inner war or the war or post-war. Perhaps this is after a battle or fight or virus or a defeat, with sunshine on their shoulders, knowing the injustice of anxiety and feeling that their hands are tied. With Taurus and Leo upright and Libra reversed, the twin flames seeing themselves as the Nine of Pentacles sovereign upright, perhaps deceived by patient angel or secret passion, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community, or Cancer reversed and Pisces reversed and Sagittarius upright here in the family. The child offering big love to an angel worth waiting for, ending the pain or in a painful end, or a pain in the ass, and the wounded warrior surrendering to the King of Swords upright with sovereign, with kids or pets of the King of Swords sovereign, perhaps exposing everything at 6:26. So the sovereign can be his own sovereignty, it could be a partner, a child who's very independent, but they're together exposing everything at 6:26, the Lovers and the Page of Wands. So, and that would make sense too. At least the Page of Wands is one of the ones that's upright and inspired. So the Ten of Pentacles reversed, right? The family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, receiving a big love by ending the pain and surrendering to the King of Swords and his sovereignty, or him and his sovereign child or partner, or the King of Swords, an independent child exposing all, and they're over the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community, which could be a really dysfunctional view on wealth right there, or on vacation without them for a change. And that could be someone who's always been forced to go on trips with the family and they never could go by themselves. And that could be the extended family, not just their own kids. With Cancer reversed, Sag, Pisces, and Leo all upright here, around the twins are how they're seen as the Knight of Swords upright, under the radar raising above, awakening and dropping the act or dropping the ball or patterns, in need of peace or upon returning from a trip, as the Knight of Swords is passing messages and blocked by the Star upright, or perhaps that's fame or stardom, or the rock star getting juice from the stars, and ending the battle and the war, with the Queen of Cups reversed or Aquarius there, with perseverance and karmic completion, but even more so, leadership, love, and adventure, recovering without an olive branch on their own, the wounded warrior surrendering and in need of peace and in need of love, as the King of Pentacles upright is implementing a plan, with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles both reversed, and the Page of Cups upright, or message of love and offer to the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords here. At 6:55, the Lovers and the Truth. The King of Pentacles in need of peace and separation, between the Emperor reversed temptation and the Knight of Wands hit and run destiny, or broke down and had to get a cab, perhaps done stretching and growing or ending the war, taking steps for Atlas to leave the wounded warrior behind, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed recovering from exile of the group, knowing and keeping their energy clear or protecting their heart, with Capricorn, Sag, and Libra upright and Cancer reversed here, and after the conflict the truth is told to two sets of lovers and those of affection like kids, to the Six of Cups reversed and the Sovereign upright and the Knight of Swords upright, announcing a wake-up call destined, challenged by negative attention and defenselessness to the energies or drama of stardom or healing dreams, grieving loss and regret, and in need of peace, done growing and stretching and taking the steps without options, Atlas leaving the wounded warrior behind, And the Page of Pentacles reversed, recovering from exile, destitution, injury, or illness with peace of mind. The truth of karma and disconnect are at a distance or a breakup here. The Six of Cups reversed, destined to grieve and challenged by failure or attention-seeking behavior, or a bad reputation, or getting a bad rap. The Sovereign defenseless without excuse and doesn't need one. The Knight of Swords is upright, sending messages to the stars, in need of peace or vacation post-war or virus, and synchronicities of being burdened. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, recovering from exile, injury, or illnesses at 7-12, which is the Chariot and the Hanging Man. So let's just pull a few quick cards. Ooh, my fourth finger just felt all of a sudden really arthritic. That's really weird. That's a message for you guys. It was my fourth finger on my left hand. It just went away. But it felt really arthritic all of a sudden. I don't know if somebody's trying to take their ring off. That could be if the ring's been on somebody's finger a long time. Okay. So let's see what the, yeah, that was weird with the ring finger, you guys. It's here. I just said the time is here in the read, you guys. And I just got pain when I felt someone taking their ring off their finger. The time is here. Just love them and kiss them and hold them and tell them that you love them. I think that was the girls, like the bouffant 50s girls, talking about loving him, like how you're supposed to love a man in the 50s. But if anyone knows that movie, please let me know. Or the song. It's driving me crazy trying to figure it out. All right, so from the, take another deep breath. From the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Oh, there we go. The dragonfly's coming out again. The 2 is 1 lovers. And the cosmic egg. Come on, that's the crown. The dragon and the cosmic egg. The birthing of the 2 as 1 lovers. With the innocent lamb, perhaps who has a target on their head. Those are 3. Those are coming out together, which is beautiful. Okay, that's the crowning of the lamb, which is that Jesus energy, and the dragonfly of the feminine, right, in the water energies of two as 1 heart. And then we have the shark and the horse and the stardom, right? So the star is coming up as the block over here. And in this deck, the star is very superficial energy. It's very shallow, right? About they've always gotten their way, getting attention. They never had to do anything for themselves and just assume it should always be that way. And perhaps one day they wake up and it's not that way anymore. And we have Mr. Ed, of course, here coming up as the source energy, and the shark trying to attack them. There's going to be some kind of funny regarding this shark here. So, and then we have the spider in the web, which has to do with the grid. And the grid was coming up as silk gauze, right? Really softened and finely tuned, right? Because silk is very fragile, right? And it's also very tightly knit. So the grid getting very tightly knit and smooth as silk, right? As the spider, this is like, the guard in the web, making sure it all goes well, because the spider always has to be there to rebuild in case there's some kind of damage to the web. And that can reference that literally to the web as well. I don't know if there's more cards there might be a couple more cards coming up to be seen. There's a lot of pairings coming up here. I mean, I could go on forever with these cards sometimes, but yeah. So the bottom, I just want to show you the bottom of the deck first. So the cheetah's at the bottom, and you see like he's in that low vibrational energy of the lower chakras. He's about to pounce, like he's ready to pounce. What's behind him, right? There's the hothead, the elk, who's usually a great guy, but when he's not eating right, he gets a really bad temper and can be really arrogant and cruel. So watch out for the elk there. He's about to pounce, right? He's about to, or maybe he's been controlling these feelings and is ready to explode. And that could be the shark attack here on the horse And again, that could be the horror of the Mary Magdalene energy in a sudden event of a shark attack. I hope there's no shark attacks, literally. But we have it on good word from Mr. Ed I'm getting here. And then the starfish. There's a lot about oceans here with the shark and the starfish. But why is the web here and the horse here? Here, let me just sit with this for a second. So the shaman, the shark is coming up as the shaman, ready to attack the horse for saying they're at the bottom of the pyramid, because we talked about the A through E, right? Shaman, she-man, shy-man, showman, and then shoeman as the horse. So there's the shark as the shaman, pissed off that the horse said he was in the lead and they were at the bottom of the rung. And then the superficial starfish here with the spider, the saint star, the star spider. Oh, Spider-Man. Who's the star spider? Spider-Man. So I'm getting movies now, like Jaws, the movie. Is his name Ed Scheider? I'm not getting it right? But he was also in All That Jazz. What's his name? I'm just not getting it right. But he's coming up as the horse. That's so weird with Jaws. So Jaws is coming up regarding the shark attack. And remember that Dreyfus was in that too, and he's a Scorpio. About like who's the actual star of the show. I don't know if there's something in the news right now about old movies and how stars got along in movies, right? Roy Scheider? I can't, is it Scheider? And Richard Dreyfuss. Is there something between them? Because that's coming up here. Regarding a shark attack, and then the spider who controls the web. So who would that be? Talking head. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. Mr. Ed. And of course, Ed is extra dimensional. But is there a horse, a talking head Ed? Because I don't watch the news at all. I don't know that stuff. So it could be two battling it out here. Or literally a shark attack. And perhaps the star was bitten by a spider. One was attacked by a shark in Jaws, and the other one was bitten by a spider or a tarantula or a black widow. The star. So there's some kind of reference to that. Maybe this is happening to somebody in their real life or the movies. Oh, then they're just telling me now, only in movies can this happen. So get ready, guys. Okay, so that was the second section of cards. And then I have this section came up where the camel is right behind the spider's web there, who's very independent, yet a little bit blue. And then there's the tiger about to pounce, but they're in full control there and listening. And then we have the hawk, and remember that Stephen Hawking came up yesterday with the butterfly here, which came up today, which was the butterflies and the moth. No, there's a lot about butterflies and moths coming up. And this one's very delicate right now because they've just been through a big transformation. And Stephen Hawking, I don't know if someone has Lou Gehrig's or something, and they're weak right now because they've just gone through some kind of major new treatment or surgery, or perhaps a med bed they found. Someone who's been independent and blue, who's carrying a lot of water weight perhaps, and perhaps causing the tiger, right, to be a little temperamental here. The white Bengal tiger is the one who jumps through the ring of fire. And is Robin coming up here again? And butterflies are free to fly, fly away. So I guess Elton John's trying to get in here too. I'm getting musicians, right? This is the blues. All right, you guys got to tell me if there are different genres of music, what do they represent? So the camel definitely looks like the blues, and the tiger, the Bengal tiger. They don't go by anybody's rules. They don't change their stripes for anyone. And they're strong and pure. The camel. Fly away, bye, bye. I don't know if Elton John's coming up with this. Who's the tiger? I don't know if it's the showman coming up, right? Because the magicians. Maybe they're coming up regarding their tiger friend. And Stephen Hawking was coming up regarding his illness and how because of his illness, he probably became so much more connected, just right, being so much more intuitive, tapping in because he was losing his other senses, right? Really being able to clear the path for others to follow. The camel is carrying water weight. And the tiger, the eye of the tiger. I know Sylvester Stallone is coming up here. There's a bunch of people who are trying to get their little message here across. But again, wanting to talk about their thing and how they grew from it, right? Because I posted for Robin and Stephen Hawking yesterday. And how they got through their transformations. Right? Like the E True Hollywood story that's coming up regarding this stuff. There may be something else you're picking up on there, but that's what I'm getting. And then we have these 4 here as well. 5 actually. So the graceful gazelle and the hummingbird who's also clearing the way. For those who see them, they're whispering in their ear. Because this one seems calm as day, like nothing's happening. But they're still in 3D energy, very relaxed on the Serengeti there. And there is the hummingbird whispering in their ear. It's Elton John. They whispered in my ear, fly away. Bye, bye. So there's that. So the gazelle is saying that the hummingbird, they heard them whispering in their ear, fly away to leave. Leave the buffalo, or that could be Taurus energy. And for the songbird here, who's clearing the air with their voice or their innocence or purity. And then we have the dragon's eye here, of taking a closer look at oneself in the mirror. That's Tom Cruise, right? His mother, that's the first thing he said, right, when he became famous, is my mother told, he had a fight with his mom about something, I don't know, or talking about their fame, and he took a good long look at himself in the mirror. But that's coming up here as well, to see the dragon within. Elton. Yeah. And these could also be, like this could be parents right here and the children right here. One's clearing and trying to get their point across to the gazelle over here. And this one may be very grounded and stable, along with this one who's being very sweet with their voice. But the need to keep an eye on them as well, because they're very little still. They're still vulnerable to predators. So a lot of stuff, a lot of musicians and actors were coming up here. Everybody wanting to tell their story, I suppose. And again, there's someone very impatiently wanting to jump in and interrupt, perhaps, right? Because they're losing their temper. Or maybe it could be a redhead as well. I mean, that can reference Trump, too. And there's the hardworking beaver, who can be a hothead at times, who's ready to leap in a single jump. So we got Superman, and we have Spider-Man, and of course we always have Batman. So right, everybody's coming through in this crowning moment of the lamb who's a target, right? The silencing of the lamb and the dragon who flies, the dragonfly, in this crowning moment of awakening on the same level as each other, 1-to-1, equal and congruent to each other, where somebody's ready to lose their cookies or their crap or their SHIT. All right, let's see what the journey of love has for you guys. But as you know, guys, the first cards out were the dragonfly, which mate in the shape of a heart, the Lamb, which is that pure innocent energy who may be a target, or they have diamond light above their head on their crown. And then the crown of the collective awakening from the side perspective as opposed to one above the collective, right? Awakening equal and congruent to each other as the collective awakens and helping them out. So funny, all the different energies coming through. I want to say with Roy, right in all that jazz, he'd wake up in the mirror every day with the jazz hands and go, what did he say? I don't know if he said action or it's time, right? Oh, it's showtime, right? And Spirit's connecting with me because I just told you it's time. It's showtime. That's what I'm getting. Wow, you guys, Spirit's connecting really strong. All right, let's see what the journey of love has for you guys. Journey of love. We have the woman of light receiving the light, the 49 of getting their wish, being happy with themselves, sovereign, and basking in the light, right? Getting their wish, basking in the light, in the beauty of purity, and the spaces between the words and between, right, the phase array. This is very 2D energy, the space between. The painting of it's painting, the Queen of Wands may be painting a pretty picture, but the woman of light is, you know, what you see is what you get. That's what's coming up here. The Queen of Wands may be painting a pretty picture and leaving spaces between the word, right? Leaving certain information out. It's very convenient. But this is a very different energy, as you plainly can see. And then here is the Emperor energy of being simple and letting simplicity be. And there's the little, it could be a little piglet or a little mouse and a blade of grass or a bird. And there is the King of Wands. So you got the King and Queen of Wands, the Emperor between, as well as the one getting their wish. I'm getting this little piggy went to market, this little piggy stayed home, this little piggy ate roast beef or meat, and this little piggy had none. And this little piggy ran all the way home. This is the 5th card. This is the 47 of heaven in your eyes and dreams coming true, of synchronicities, of the 7 of Cups and being soft, the pearl, right? Oh, and then I was getting I'm getting in the spring becomes the rose, but it's the same thing, the same kind of energy with the pearl. The pearl is ready. It's like the oyster, the clam is ready to be open now. The pearl is fully developed. The King and Queen of Wands and the Emperor between. And the one who's basking in the light. And the Queen of Wands with the spaces between the words, or that 2D energy. And this is just going to represent someone basking in the success of their painting or whatever. And then we have the Emperor in simplicity, it's just very black and white. Regarding their connection here, right? Because there's no straight lines. This is like an arc. The little piggy is looking for his other little piggy on the arc, right? The 2x2s. They're very simple in their connection. And this could be a bird-piggy connection, right? Because we're not doing the same energy anymore, right? We're crossing boundaries between cultures and ages and races and galaxies, right? So maybe the piglet's always been a very simple kind of person, but maybe there are others, this bird up in the sky. And there she's waiting, seeing the light with the King of Wands here, right? So that could be this Queen of Wands. And perhaps these are little piglets or little kitties stable at home, keeping it really simple for them so you could go away. And then across the water, she waits in the chaos very comfortably as she sees the light at the end of the tunnel, regarding the King of Wands and the pearl that is ready now, being soft. She's now soft. The light has softened. It's not so sharp and cutting anymore. It's referencing the feminine's process of getting to this place of softness, which is referencing that silk, the silkiness of the grid. And the bottom of the deck is the distant shores. Again, this is like the third day in a row I think this came up, of 4 moons from now, which comes up in June, right? Spooning in June, the 18 of the purple moon, of the 0 point field and distant shores, perhaps going away, with the emerald and the indigo energies of connecting the heart to the third eye, and the 4 purple moons, and falling light as a feather into that higher love. And this read was all about the wind of the fall. Okay, the 14 and the 18, and that can reference September, because my birthday's in September, and my kid's dad's married on the 14th of September. So those 2 dates may be coming up for some. And I'll have to read that for you. March 22nd to April 22nd, May and June. Yeah, June 28th I think is the full moon. And 28 is the twin flames. And June 14th and 15th have been coming up a lot. And just July in general too. As July, because July was coming up as Julius today, is the Ides of March, and Julius is coming up as July in the US. And the red, white, and blue rays. And then we have the first card out again is the dragonfly, which did we have that yesterday? Dragonfly again is the master of light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder in all. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, as it's always moving and shifting and shimmering and changing. And when the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. When in balance, they see clearly, they're joyful and magical, and when they're out of balance, they can't concentrate and have a busy mind. To bring back into balance, focus on the breath. So again, breathe in ether and out density. Back up to source. And then for the journey of love, we have, where did my cards go? Oh, 49. Get your wish. I'm sweating like crazy right now. All right, the woman of light. Pure is my joy, my celebration. I know the divine to be eternal. There is no limit to my peace, to my pleasure, as I rise and rise and rise again. Capable am I of receiving the light, of accepting the next level of illumination. I am sacred flesh coming to light. I am the walking temple, the living goddess, she who shines with truth. I come to you now. I am one with you now. I am the awakened one and the awakener. This oracle brings you guidance that you're to be witness to the presence of an awakened being, either within your own self as part of your spiritual destiny or in the form of a beloved other. An awakened one in your midst, or soon will be, receive the blessing that emanates from such a being, for to behold one is a gracious spiritual gift that will lift you to the next step of your path. If you've had trouble discerning the true presence of an awakened teacher in your midst, or even in your own being, remember that nothing's asked from you by such awakened ones but loving devotion so that they may serve the awakening of all living beings. It's required much karmic grace to be granted immediate access to an awakened being, and even more to become such a living light, so take delight. And the poem reads, I asked God for a deepening of my love, without realizing that the deeper I was willing to go, the more it involved letting go of any part of myself that wanted to love and still be safe. And surrender to the possible lay the greatest potential for love. At levels before unknown, like a cistern that holds the nectar of life and gives its precious liquid only to be filled again with nature's flow, such knowingness is a gift. For if you can embrace the blessing, you can live without question, relaxing and replenishing with each breath, with each kiss, always whole. Okay, guys, really beautiful read. I invite you to drink your water and get your beauty rest, your joy, your nature, and follow your inner intuition. And just enjoy the spring, and rise and be love, you guys. Take another deep breath. see you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.